So hi everyone, my name is Ruth and I'm Managing Director of Bright Futures. I set Bright Futures up 3.5 years ago now, and that time has completely flown. I don't know where it's gone to. In that amount of time we've supported probably over 500 families secure what we feel is a good EHCP and a good outcome for them. My aim has always been to have the most positive impact on young people and children's lives, and that's what drives me on every single day. As many families and professionals can probably relate with me on, the process is not easy. It's very, very draining emotionally, as well as sort of every other aspect of your life. Like, it's not something you take on lightly, and it's certainly not something I've taken on lightly either. I carry with me every single child on my shoulders every single day, and I want parents to know that that's what I'm doing. I don't want you or anyone to feel that you're a piece of paper, because sometimes the system does turn you into that. It turns you into a number. But here at Bright Futures, we recognise you as you should be recognised, as a human, and as your child at the very heart of the process. I'm currently expecting myself, and my team have experience as well of sort of going through the process firsthand. Working in a team like Bright Futures is so, how do I describe it? It's just so amazing, because even though we're dealing on a daily basis with what can be really traumatising cases, we are knitted together to provide not only each other that support, but everyone that we come into contact with that, I suppose, emotional support, as well as the knowledge that we give on a daily basis, which is obviously vital, unfortunately, for navigating the SEND processes. And that's something I'm really proud of. So having started 3.5 years ago from my lounge, not really knowing where to start, and growing to a team of 5 where everyone shares the same values and vision as me, in terms of wanting to have that kind of level of impact on a child's life, on a family's life, on wanting to do a job which isn't solely based on how much cash you get at the end of the month, and more about what kind of impact you have, and honest and true to yourself and to others, providing, tenacity and challenge where it's necessary to do so, which it is in these day and ages, or probably always has been, to be fair. It's just so nice to be around people like that. So yeah, a big shout out to the Bright Futures team who drive this force. So a little bit more about me. I've always worked in education. I studied English Literature and Language at Newcastle University, and my first job afterwards was working for the university itself. I did a lot of public speaking, talking about the benefits and the sort of pathways to accessing higher education for pupils from disadvantaged backgrounds, kind of ranging to private schools as well. So a whole host of different kind of clientele. But the kind of area that really stuck out to me was the area where I could have the biggest impact. So the students who didn't think they could maybe reach or aspire to things that were actually in their grasp, giving them the information, helping them navigate that process was really important for me. I then went off to Sheffield, Hallam, where I've stayed. So I'm still based in Sheffield, but not at the university. And I managed a team of people, and we worked together to help students access their finances and support them again to be able to have the aspirations that they had from the outset, really, and make sure that they're supported financially along the way. Following that, I then worked at a specialist college in the centre of Sheffield, which some of you might be familiar with. And I was head of admissions at this college, and that's where I really kind of realised that my journey started now. I absolutely fell in love with the type of work that I was doing, but also really empathised as well with the horrendous systems that were in place for SEND children and young people and families. And I witnessed, on a daily basis, the kind of impact that this process was having on quite a small segment of the community, having just worked in sort of one small area in Sheffield. And the more I dug and delved into it, the more I realised that this is a national crisis, and I wanted to have an impact on a larger scale and with a more diverse range of people too. So I was really fortunate that a lot of the parents that I worked with at the time really supported me in sort of branching out myself, and I took a leap of faith and sort of decided to set up Bright Futures as sort of like a lifeline for parents to be able to access relatively accessible support to help empower them, but also represent them through a time which is challenging for a number of different reasons. And that's what I've been doing ever since. And like I said, the team has grown. We're very, very focused on providing as much information as we possibly can for free as well. So that's one of the biggest things that we advocate for. Whilst we are a business, yes, we've got to run on something. I do need to eat at the end of the day, and so does my team. So we do need to be obviously financed to be able to provide what we do. But we do hope that we're offering something that is so much more accessible than maybe a solicitor or lawyer service. I suppose my ultimate aim would be to try and do ourselves out of business, because surely if we didn't exist, that would be a good thing, because the processes would be fine. We're kind of slotting in to help support what is a massive problem. So if the problem wasn't there, we wouldn't exist, which is a good thing. But obviously we've got a really, really long way to go to get into that point. So whilst obviously, we do support you at this very challenging time, we also advocate on behalf of the whole SEND sector, and we want to push forward change. So on our social media, on our website, you'll probably see a lot of blogs and a lot of information about what we think needs to change from our experience of working with families and on behalf of families through the process. So I hope that gives you a little bit more information about what we do and where our heart lies, I guess. And it goes out to all of you going through the process, particularly parents out there, and particularly the child at the centre of what is an utter mess. And we just hope that even a phone call with us could help in some way or another.